I'm Adam Willems, lead reporter at the Financial Revolutionist.
Hi, I'm Emma Kisby. I'm the CEO for EMEA for Cogo.
Great to have you with us, Emma.
Thanks.
I'm wondering if first you could just briefly explain what Cogo is.
Cogo creates carbon footprint management solutions. So what we do is we take spending information and we add emissions factors to create personalized carbon footprints for individuals and small businesses so that we help people essentially measure, manage, and reduce their carbon emissions.
Understood. I'd love to hear how different that process is in Europe versus the United States, as in why there's sort of a segmentation of Cogo's work in part.
So I don't think the approach is different,
Okay.
but I think what we're seeing is more innovation and more acceleration in Europe than we're seeing in the US.
Okay.
We see a lot of banks like ING and NatWest, for example, really taking a stand in helping their customers, their retail customers, small businesses, really understand the impact of their spending. We have an integrated solution with NatWest, for example, out to 5 million of their customers, and it's live, so they can see real time what the impact of their spend is, and then gives them recommendations on how to reduce. Two things. I think we're seeing that consumer demand is really there. Certainly a younger cohort of customers are really pushing banks to take a stand. But also we have more regulations that are impacting small businesses that are coming in on the big corporate reporting, which are having a knock-on effect on small businesses.
Right. Absolutely. I'm curious whether you've seen any changes in Europe as it relates to sort of that, I don't know, ESG or net zero drive, especially in the past sort of year and a half or so, as it relates to Russia, Ukraine, and energy independence and different sort of geopolitical priorities like that.
Yeah, it's a good question. Probably 2 years ago, there was a real drive consumer demand. And as you say, more recently, there's been some distractions. I
Sure.
think the really interesting dynamic is there's a close correlation between financial health and planetary health. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, better for your pocket is better for the planet. So what we are tending to do is also help people understand the reduction in costs, for example, by being more energy efficient. So there's a close correlation, and we're seeing that consumer demand's increasing. But equally, we're seeing a lot of scary news. Even this morning on CNN, they were talking about the West Antarctica melting to the point that
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see sea levels rise. So I think there is accelerated awareness and also anxiety around the need to be able to take action, and that's where our solution comes in.
Understood. So in terms of consumer demand, that's one thing I'm also curious about, sort of consumer usage. What sort of, percentages or sort of frequent use do you see from NatWest and ING from sort of even younger users or across demographics?
Yeah, we typically see a higher adoption in a kind of younger cohort, but
Sure.
not exclusively. I think that's really important. We see about a 35% penetration of the mobile banking customers, which
Okay.
is fantastic, around 37% taking climate action. So actually not just looking at their carbon footprints, but actually committing to taking action to reduce their carbon emissions. We see it differs depending on your demographic. So for a younger cohort of customers, the kind of Gen Zs, for example, it's more about
Mm-hmm.
their fashion footprint, where they can really make an impact. For an older generation, between kind of 35 and 45, we see it's more about their energy footprint. So we definitely see a difference in terms of where people see the opportunity to take action, notably where they're spending.
Understood. Yeah. It's interesting at Money 2020, you don't see that much climate related, that many speakers or that
Yeah.
much content or that many sponsors. I'm wondering if you could speak more to that.
Well, it's really disappointing because at Money 2020, you can see the potential impact that these fantastic banks can play in terms of
Mm-hmm.
really helping customers. In Money 2020 Amsterdam, in Europe, we're seeing a lot more kind of topics on the ESG agenda, a lot more around the kind of banks and the opportunity to really drive ahead and accelerate, but very little here. I think out of the four themes, there's hardly any focused on ESG. I think there's a couple of speakers talking about it. And yet there's such an opportunity. There's an opportunity to drive customer engagement. There's an opportunity to create lots of data and insights. And most importantly for the banks, there's an opportunity to really take a lead in wrapping products and services to really help accelerate and mobilize their customers to take action.
Sure. So given that sort of disparity between Money 2020 Amsterdam and here, I'm wondering why you still sort of return here, even if it's, crickets compared to the European market.
Well, we have hope. And
Mm-hmm.
as I said, it's all about scale and impact. And the American banks have huge customer numbers and huge opportunity to play a pivotal role in accelerating this climate crisis and bringing solutions to their customers. So we want them to be bold and brave. They don't have the same regulatory pressures here that we do. They're seeing coming in EMEA or Europe. And the reality is they've got such an opportunity to get a first mover advantage. So we'd love them to be bolder, and hopefully we can inspire them by showing them what other European banks are doing, or also in the APAC region.
Sure, absolutely. What do you see for Cogo in the coming year?
Oh, hopefully faster levels of adoption, more people taking action. I think we will see that anyway. I think, as we said, it's a pretty scary place, so people are
Mm-hmm.
wanting to take action. I think there'll be more people demanding solutions from their banks, from big corporates, helping us to all think about the impact of how we're spending and our behaviors to actually minimize what is looking quite a scary planet to
Mm-hmm.
live on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah.